After Brian Ortega lost his fight to Alexander Volkanovski last night, he had to go to the hospital right away. He posted on his Instagram story and wrote, "For those who love me, please pray for me, love you guys." Dana White and Oscar De La Hoya got into a big argument on Twitter last night after UFC 266. De La Hoya tweeted, "Hey Alexander Volkanovski, you just won a really tough fight for the UFC and only made 1/20th of what you should be paid. Dana White, have some respect for yourself and these fighters and pay these warriors what they deserve." Dana replied saying, "Shut the freak up, you crackhead. You faked having COVID and stopped me from watching you get knocked out by Vitor Belfort. You should win an Oscar for your fake hospital act." So last night Nick Diaz lost to Robbie Lawler when the fight was stopped in the third round. After the fight, Nick said, "I'm glad I at least put on a good show. I knew this was going to happen. Old Rob had a lot of pressure coming into this fight, especially after being away for so long. I don't have any excuses. I had a long time off too and I knew this was coming. I don't know how this fight got set up. I had a complete change in my management team. The way this fight got set up was just unfair, but no excuses. I had it coming." He was in great shape. "I knew I was bleeding here, so I didn't want to make too big of a mess. I'm glad to be back and I'm glad to put on a show." Nick posted some photos on his Instagram story after the fight. Here's one where he shows some of the damage after the fight. Here's another one. He also posted a photo with Rolf Gracie. He wrote, "Rolf Gracie was in my corner last night. He's my hero from when I was growing up and the best coach ever." Dana White talks about Conor McGregor's first pitch at the Cubs game, the worst first pitch ever seen at the famous Wrigley Field. "So I say this pitch is way too high. You say it's perfect. Well, the anger is there. The power is there." Dana said, "Let me start here. Do you know how many times people have asked me to throw a first pitch somewhere? I'll never do it. Never. Just like all those guys who think they can fight. Guys think they can throw a baseball to home plate. It's much harder than it looks." He also talked about Conor's leg getting better. He said, "This kid needs to heal up. I don't know how fast his leg is going to get better. It's basically going to be all about when he can start kicking again. And more importantly, when he can start taking kicks again. That will decide when he fights again." Alistair Overeem is supposed to fight Rico Verhoeven in kickboxing soon. Before the fight, Alistair admits that he would have liked to end his career in the UFC. He said, "I'm professional. I'm realistic. This is something that the UFC can do after you lose. Those are the rules in their contracts. They can let you go from the contract. I've had a good time with the UFC. They can do this. Maybe it was time for the younger guys to come in. You can't forget I am 41 years old. I'm getting a little bit older. If it was up to me, I would have liked to finish in the UFC, but it was not up to me. Only the UFC belt is missing from my wall. We were so close. It is what it is. There would be one thing I could have changed or wanted. It would be that UFC belt. But on the other hand, I had so many beautiful wins, so many exciting moments. I'm proud of my career." Anthony Smith on SiriusXM talks about his beef with Ryan Spann. Smith says that he was really mad at Spann and calls him weak for complaining. "I was really mad at Ryan Spann, really. Watching him leave practice and go home to his family made me furious. Because at the same time he's talking about his struggles and what he's given up for this sport and how hard it is, while he's eating dinner with his family every night after practice. And I'm sitting in a hotel room all by myself after I've been away from my family for most of like 6, 7, 8 weeks. And just seeing him complain about how hard it is, like go freak yourself. And I don't want to beat him up again, but then he sits in his interview and cries about one loss and how it almost destroyed him and he never wanted to fight again and he couldn't get out of bed. Like, you're a baby. You're weak. You're weak. And I don't like, what are you even doing in here with me? After all the stuff that I've been through and sacrifices and the losses and the really dark places. I just couldn't believe that he had the nerve to even say some of the stuff that he said. And then end it with, "Ain't no way Anthony's gonna take this from me," like the freak he's not. Like you have no idea what the real world is really about. Like how bad this game can really mess you up sometimes. Like you're crying about one loss, like get the freak out of here. So that was my mindset going into it, and it's very different that it's been in the past. Triller's Ryan Kavanaugh talks about the backlash about Evander Holyfield fighting at 58 years old. He says that he actually thinks he will compete again. He said, "We had a contract with Holyfield to fight several fights, which we still do. His first fight was going to be Kevin McBride. He was the last person to knock out Mike Tyson, and McBride is only 2 years older than Vitor Belfort. We saw McBride and saw some video of him training and got very worried. We actually went to the commission and said we're worried about this fight. I think we were told we were the only promoters ever in the history of promoting to try to talk the commission out of a fight. The Holyfield team, we love them. We love working with them. But they were determined that this fight had to happen so much that they brought it to court. You have to let this go. It was a real professional rules fight. This was not a fake dance fight. We said we were very worried about McBride, not Holyfield. Holyfield, having seen what we saw, was in such amazing shape. He never stops working out. He's a perfect example of a human being. It was quite a battle, honestly. It was going to be a fight of us saying we don't want someone to get hurt. When we turned around and put this card together, the way we looked at it was Vitor. Yes, he was younger. As we all know, I think he was 2 years younger than McBride, so almost the same age. But he's not a pro boxer. He's only boxed once. He was MMA, and we all know MMA has a disadvantage when it comes to pro boxing. We actually thought it was going to be a very fair kind of fight. There was an age disadvantage, but there was an MMA disadvantage. If you talk to Holyfield, what the world thought happened didn't happen. If you talk to Holyfield, Vitor apparently stepped on his foot, which I haven't seen the video yet, which made him trip, and that's why it looked like he fell. He swung really hard, which we all know that he did, and that was the knockout swing. Had he connected with Vitor, Vitor would probably still be in the hospital today, and he missed and put him on the ropes because he swung so hard. Vitor came back aggressively, but Holyfield is known for being a slow starter. His strategy is let me get him. Let me see how he punches, and then I'll come out with my returns. If you look closely at that video, he was blocking. He said he got hit once. If you ask Holyfield, Vitor got one hit and the rest of it he was blocking. So the stoppage, in his opinion, was the problem because he's like, I would have come back and I knew what I was doing. Having seen Holyfield and him being a hero of mine for so long and watching him train, I mean, he's in better shape than I'm in, which isn't saying much, but he's in better shape than most people aren't. He's always been a quiet guy. It's not like all of a sudden he's more quiet or talking slower. He's strong and fast. You have a lot of training videos of him where he's hitting very hard. He's sitting very fast, and he's sparring 22-year-olds. And when I say sparring, I'm saying knocking out 22-year-olds in 12-round matches time and time again. I'm just as confused as you are right now. The betting odds were on Holyfield. When you look at him, I was for sure thinking Vitor was getting knocked out for sure. Hopefully Holyfield will end up fighting someone again that hopefully people see as better suited, whether it's Mike Tyson or someone like that. And Vitor is going to fight again. We're going to see what's going to happen. No matter what's going to happen here, we would have gotten messed up. We're not happy with round 1. They're calling it a knockout, stoppage, knockout, whatever you want. Certainly not what we wanted to see. Certainly not what the audience wanted to see. But I'm not sure yet if the end of the story has been written. That's gonna wrap it up for the news. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post future ones. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Freddie Mars. It says, Lamau, I knew Algo would find an excuse to not fight. Yan. The second one's from the bank. It says that security guard should move ahead of Dylan Danis in the rankings. And the final one's from Matt Dalton. It says Alex went into beast mode. Hats off to Brian though, man, what a warrior. Amazing fight. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured on the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. Also be sure to check out the other types of MMA content we post on this channel. Click either of the 2 videos on the screen right now.